uniforms. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take the airwaves with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters with a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. So I'll take a pause just in case somebody has emergency traffic and needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway here on the 08 machine. Moving on again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. We use the 08 machine for our voice communications, and the video is transmitted elsewhere on other repeaters. So anyway, check-ins for this evening. So far we have Bert, N7CS, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N720, Ron, KD7CKU, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Anybody else that wants to check in? Hearing none, let's lift to the top. So Ron, KD7CKU.
Okay, I guess I'm making it. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. This is Ron, KD7QKU. What a gorgeous day. It's a gorgeous day over in Tacoma. With just 2 or 3 houses. One we kind of like. So we're going to go look at it, really look at it on Friday. So I don't know. Big lot. Put everything we own on the lot. We'll have to see. I don't know. Right now, in the pictures, it doesn't look like it has much of a dining room. My wife would like to have a dining room. We'll have to see. All right, that's enough for now. So back to that, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU and the meteorologist Lee M7KC is checked in, and we'll take leave now. M7KC. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. You're up.
Connected N7KC.
N7KC, I hear you connected on Echo Link. Go ahead. Okay. Did I do it? I'm giving a thumbs up, so thumbs successive. Oh, very good. Oh, wow, okay. Funny thing happened on Echolink when I'm listening to Ron talk. By the way, it was a beautiful day here too. Just wonderful. Clearly an early spring day. Everything here is getting pretty green and down, everything's just ready to pop out, and a lot of things aren't waiting. So it's a really nice fish. Anyway, I'm in the M7KC and I'm in Port Angeles. And so when Ron was talking, all of a sudden it started to repeat itself over and over and over. And it did that for a good 15, 20 seconds, and then finally broke out of that loop. And then it went ahead and talked about the houses down in Tacoma there, and that they're going to go back and check one out. Well, good for you. Aside from that, I don't have much really to add at this point. Thank you, Bert, for the heads up for Bottle Rocket Launches. I'm glad to get that information. That would be fun. And so I'm going to send it back to Bert against WKC in Port Angeles. So good.
Connected WW7ATS.
7UHK is signed off, so let's go for it. What say you?
Say me, this is Jessica up in Everett, KF7UHK, and just got off another Zoom meeting with my boat friends down at, used to be down at Shilsham, and so that was kind of fun. Didn't do a whole lot today. I think we're just maybe watching TV and the news and what's going on with that. Sylvia's doing homework, and I think she's going to take a picture of herself tonight, so that's going to be fun. So we'll see how that turns out. We tried doing last night with her with the moon in the background, but the focus just wasn't correct. So I'm going to pass it back at this early hour. This is Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, looks good at good. M7ES.
Good evening, everyone. I'm trying out a new radio, or a different radio today, and I know my picture's upside down, and that's not a fault of the new radio. I think I just had my camera upside down. But, probably more later, but anyway, this is Bert and Marshall in 7CS. Back to that.
M7CS, yes, you see the picture, it looks fine. Do you have anything else to add at this point?
No, nothing else to add right now in 7CS.
Okay, let's go to Bob, K9P2.
Okay, hey guys, let me get my YouTube caught up here. It's a little behind. I want to make sure I'm being seen. There we go. So let's see. Ron, you noted the house has a big yard. The most important feature, that means you can have an antenna farm, right? So, I want to know, or are you going to be restricted because of covenants? I'm curious. As for everything else, good evening to everybody. Today is, as far as I know, I haven't heard otherwise, today it has opened up to people 60 years and older, which includes me, to get the vaccine. I did try going to the website, and it's changed since the last time I went there. I wasn't asked to fill out a questionnaire. Instead, it took me directly to go to make an appointment, which, as I recall, some of you that have already had your vaccines, you had to call to make an appointment. You didn't do it through the state website. So maybe that's a new feature, and it's not working yet because I went to make an appointment, and at places where they said they had limited space available, it was actually grayed out showing no space available through the end of May, which I know is not right. So I think there's a bug. We're working on a few bugs, and I'm just repeating back to myself what I have said many times, and that is I've waited a year already. I can wait a few more days. I'm not in a rush to go out and do this today. So that's my big news. Back to that, K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's go on to Richard, K7RTX.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I think everybody can hear me okay. Do I get a wave? Oh, okay, yeah, I got a thumbs up from Ron. Good deal. All right, so here's the shocker. 67 degrees with a low of 31. And I'm shocked because the last time I looked it was 63, and I thought that was pretty intense. But now I look at the weather station and it says a high of 67, and whoa. And I believe it because it was just a beautiful day. The backyard was immaculate, and just enjoyed every bit of it. And Bob, what a great picture tonight. It's just, I don't know if it's a new camera or just everything you've done. You finally got it fine-tuned. I don't think you can't have a better picture than what you're showing tonight, Bob. So good work. And oh boy, Ron, sounds like you're getting down to brass tacks. So good luck. That's all I can say, because I'm sure you're going to need every bit that you can get. Maybe a prayer here and there as well. So, all right, well, I'll just keep the show rolling along, and we'll get it back to Net Control, KD7ZYM, K7ITX.
K7ITX, let's go to W7ITL, wait.
W7ITL, timeout.
Let's see if we can time him in. W7ITL, wait.
And he's on, this is in 7KC, he's on Echo Link, and he's not getting any audio on Echo Link. You may have seen his chat there. So anyway, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'll get out of here. In 7KC.
Oh, thanks for that update, Lee. W7ITL, wait, we'll come back to you. Let's go to Jen, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, good evening, everyone. It has indeed been a nice day. Unfortunately, I have been doing some work around the house. Not outside, but things inside. I'm just overwhelmed with things to do nowadays. It's going to go on for a little while. I really need to do some yard work outside, but it's been kind of put on the back burner. Going to be busy for another couple of months for sure. Well, that's okay. Let's see, Ron, if you find a house you like, you might want to think about putting a contract down on it. I guess houses are selling fast. One of our neighbors put their house on the market, and in 3 days it sold, and they were not expecting it to sell that quickly, so now they have to find a place to move temporarily until they find a place they want to move to. So I could see myself in a position like that too if I'm not careful, so I'll be careful. Let's see, Bert, your new radio is sounding good. Don't know what it is, you'll have to give us details on that, but it looks good, and your picture looks good too. Bob, my understanding is the state of Washington has discontinued that old website, what do they call it, Vaccine Finder or Phase Finder, something like Phase Finder. That is discontinued, and now my understanding is the new website, they're basing it more on the honor system. So those who are under the age of 60 should not be doing that, but you're on your honor. So at least that's what I remember hearing on television. Go figure. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
Okay, well, let's do an audio check first. Dave, do you hear me now? Yeah, I see your thumbs up there. Well, a lot has happened with me in the past few days. I got a radiator changed out on Friday on a vehicle that wasn't really very useful. I could get to the storage area to my house for a battery charge, and then
Kremlin, gotcha.
Okay, well, I fixed one thing on that power supply, but maybe there's more than one thing wrong. So I was saying that I replaced the radiator and determined by Tuesday that it was holding fluid. So anyway, that was kind of occupying quite a bit of my time. My neighbor, I tell you, he's the one we need to invite into this net because just before like 5 or 6 p.m. I was out washing my car, and two deer were munching flowers out of his pot. And so I texted him back, but the audio was so good that I could read the deer's lips, and they were obviously, enjoying the flowers, and they were saying me gusta. And his mom-in-law is native Spanish speaker. She's the one who planted the flowers, so I hope she finds that funny. Okay, so I guess if I talk a full 2 minutes, then this kind of stresses out something. So I'm talking right now, and I'm wondering if it's going to cut me off or not. So anyway, out a few bugs. That was funny. Okay, we're all working out a few bugs. And then, Bert, you get also a prize for April Fool's upside-down camera joke. That was really good. I'm glad. I thought it was the drugs. I'm glad you mentioned something. So anyway, with that, I am going to go ahead and end on a 10 count here just to see if I can get this to malfunction again. I am trying hard to catch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so clearly how you make this thing continue to work is that everybody on the edge of their seat wondering if it's going to cut off or not. This is WW7ATS. Come on! Okay.
WW7ATS, thank you very much. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Always machine at the out of the way. And here in Lake City, I've got 53 degrees, and it's slightly overcast. Can't see all the stars twinkling in the sky on my window. So anyway, I think we're going to probably have a weather change and probably see some more clouding coming in tomorrow. Here's the day. Oh my, beautiful weather, but I had to tackle my yard. The grass seems to have grown about 5 inches since the last time I mowed it. And so got out the mower, and to my surprise, on the 3rd pull, it started. So I had a mower going, and got about half of the yard going, and then all of a sudden the mower decided it didn't want to work. So troubleshooting it, I see that the oil was low in it. So I added oil, and miraculously it started up again. So anyway, I don't think I've added oil in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years with the lawnmower. And so it's well lubricated at this point, and very happy. As a matter of fact, it more hummed instead of sputtered as it was moving along. And I got kind of 2 notices in my email today. One from the state of Washington telling me that I now qualify for the virus COVID shot. Well, I finished that over a month ago, my 2nd shot, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But then, followed by that was one from Kaiser, which is my medical provider, saying I also qualified, and they were the ones that gave me the shots at the Northgate Clinic for record-keeping purposes. So anyway, I guess I could go out and get another batch, but I think I'm happy with what I got. But it just goes to show you the idiosyncrasy of record-keeping for all of the shots and getting it out. Hopefully, we'll all come together and be healthy and move on. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's move up to Ron, KD7QKU.
HYB.
K7HYB, Gary, we got you a notice that you checked in.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. KD7QKU here. Well, Jim, we're trying to buy a house outright. So we'll buy the house outright, and then we can take as long as we want them to move before we put this one up for sale in the market. And you're right, it's a heavily competitive market out there. You have to get in the bidding contest. So I think the houses are overpriced to begin with. I woke up this morning, I think, about 4 o'clock, and I couldn't sleep because I'm laying there thinking about how much do you want to pay for this house, or how much do you want to pay for any house. How am I going to move? Where am I going to put all this stuff? And all this stuff. So, I don't know. It's a big decision, and I'm struggling with it right now. My son did ride over from the Key Peninsula today with his motorcycle in Minister, and he looked at the house and he thought it was pretty nice. So he was happy. But I don't know if Joanne's going to be happy. It doesn't have an actual formal dining room. It sort of has a eating area that's kind of off the den, I guess you would call it. They have a small table. She would like to have a big table. So I don't know. When we go over Friday at noon and actually get in the house, and I'm not sure where anything is, hot water tank, furnace, breaker box, It supposedly has an oversized garage. It has like 2 driveways. So one driveway I can park the motorhome, and the other driveway leads into the 2-car garage. And it's a big, big lot. It has a guest house on the back of it, which I don't want at all, but it's there, and I suppose it's a fully operational guest house that's been rented. Was someone in it up until April 1st. So I don't really want that, but it's there. You can't do anything about it. I don't know how big the lot is. The lot extends way back, but it's not planted in lawn back there. So I don't know. Let me let it drop, I guess. I guess if we got that particular house, I would think about putting a garage door in the back of the garage so I could drive the boats through, push them through, and maybe making like a carport roof behind the garage that they could sit under. That's what I have thought of on that. Because we have 2 cars, a pickup, 2 boats, 4-wheeler, and a motorhome, and a 2-wheel trailer. 2-wheel trailer I'm taking out the mics for sure. And I might take the 4-wheeler out there too. If I could figure out how to get the boat parked without driving the pickup through the yard. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So wish me luck, I guess. So KD7QKU, back to them.
KD7QKU, Ron, thanks for that. And again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. The 08 machine ID, KD7ZYM for an ID. So let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
Well, Ron, that sounds to me like you need a pull-through. Something you can pull in on one side, kind of high through, drop things off, and then pawn up the other side, And when we go look for a place to go take our trailer, we pay a little bit more for those pull-throughs because why have to back it in if you don't have to? It's a cheating way to go. It's the old people's way to go, and I sure like it. I've spent too many times on putt tents on the ground with rocks on my back, and I said, yeah, we're gonna go the easy way now. Let's see. I was thinking, James, maybe if you tuned a handheld to the output of your radio, you might be able to hear when it cuts out, and maybe see if it's your end or if it's just not making it to the repeater all of a sudden, and something like that. So maybe it's just a dip out of power, or maybe it's a completely, something. So monitor handhelds, monitor to your output channel. That's what I would do. And then lastly, for the backstage shot, I think that if they just said all ham radio operators, I think that'd probably hit all the people who are old enough. That's what I'm thinking. And sorry to people like Bert and probably Wade. And I'm not sure about James. But the rest of us, I don't know. We probably hit that limit. And I just saw a new possum come out here tonight. I didn't get a picture of it, but it's different than my normal possum that comes and visits our backyard, which gives it visits for various reasons, along with the bird seed that falls onto the ground and other things out there. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to pass it back to Jessica, KS7UHK.
ES7UHT, let's go to Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles.
Right, y'all, everything works. Okay, Lee in 7KC, we're in beautiful Port Angeles. Well, let's see. If I met so far, let me relate to you an interesting phone call I had today. Linda Davis called me from Debt Free America. Linda Davis has called once or twice a day for the last year, I would say, something like that. And I have pleadings, I have done all kinds of things to try to get my cell phone number off of their call list, and they say, sure, yeah, it's off. And then, of course, they call me right back. So today, Linda Davis said that this is my last call. So I didn't get any more calls because I hadn't responded. So I let Linda switch me over to her supervisor. And the supervisor came on, and I said, hey, I just got a notification from Linda Davis that this is the last call to me. Could that be true? Oh, yes, sir. Yep, he says that's the last call. Well, no, there'll be a couple more calls. And then there'll be a couple more after that. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, it's not true. Well, we love you, he said. We just put the rule to you. We love you. And I said, yeah, lay on. Well, here the other day I get a lot of calls, not just from Debt Free America, but my cell phone number was my business number at one time. Holy smokes, that was a mistake. And I don't want to give it up because I'd have to tell too many people. Let me reset.
Connected W7ITL link.
Okay, I have my timer set for 2 minutes. I hope this works. Well, last week I had a call from one of these places, and I said, I asked him, I said, hey, how much would I have to pay to, have you stop calling me? $10,000, he said. I said, $10,000? Really? Yeah, $10,000. I said, well, of course you're not going to get $10,000 from me. Well, that's what you're going to have to pay. He said, no, stop calling. You almost on the first one day service, You call with this kid down on the phone, and then it goes to a pretty heavy foreign accent person on the other end. Every time, everything. So anyway, that's my story. And like I said, I'm sticking to it. In 7KC, we report out in Texas, dude.
M7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert, M7CS.
Okay, I had to go do a quick Google search to see who Linda Davis and this Debt Free America thing was about, so I knew what you were talking about there, Lee. But let's see what else the video is going through. Yes, earlier tonight I was playing around. I was doing some DMR testing with a new DMR repeater that went up in Toyota. So I finally have what appears to be a reliable DMR repeater that I can hit for my house. And let's see what else. Bob, you were talking about COVID. You're now eligible to get your shot. Just as an FYI, I saw the governor announced earlier, or like late this afternoon, that starting April 15th, anyone that's 16 and up, 16 and up, will be eligible. So you've got about a 2-week window before it probably gets very, very difficult to start getting appointments because it opens up for everybody then. And then Ron, we were talking about the guest house. I don't think that's called a guest house. I think it's called a ham shack. Anyway, that's it. This is Bert in Marysville, M7CS. Back to that.
M7CS, thanks for that. Let's go to Gary, K7HYB.
Yes, good evening, 217 Hotel Yankee Bravo. And I can either come in on RF or I can come in through their AM. Okay. I see thank you very much, whoever's doing the switching. I appreciate that. And, hey, Okay, I got a halfway decent signal tonight. Looking really good on 1.2. I don't really warm weather apparently, because during the winter it's been lousy. Absolutely useless. So, anyway, weather report is 48 degrees with 66% humidity. Wind has been variable today. Anywhere between 0 and about 8 miles an hour. And no measurable rain in the last 24 hours, so we've been pretty quiet. Anyway, like I said, on RF next time, but I'm coming through right now on the streaming. Anyhow, got good news to report. Got a call from my son in St. Louis, and he's been selected for enlisted chief in the Coast Guard. Looks like we're going to probably fly back there. He's supposed to be pinned on May 1st, so we're looking at possibly flying back there and going to his ceremony. Quite a deal for a Sea Corps to make chief. They have to go through a ritual and stuff like that. I happen to know that because a good friend of mine, he is a retired senior chief from the Coast Guard, so he spent 28 years in the Coast Guard. He knows the drill. Anyway, I got my shot scheduled for April 9th, and let's see. I'm just kind of curious. I wonder how well, if anybody has noticed any issues with the video switcher. I was playing around with it earlier today, and one of my transmitters could turn on and off, but it couldn't switch between the inputs for some reason or another. And my other transceiver, which has a better signal into the mountain, wouldn't even turn on and off, so I don't quite know what was going on, so maybe somebody will phone me in. Anyway, that's one of my babble for this time around. It's good to be back in it again. I've been kind of busy and haven't had time to get on. K7ZYM, K7HYB.
K7HYB, let's do the Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, let me get myself switched in here. Okay. Well, man, I have several notes. There's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about tonight. So I'll just go from the top down. Ron, the guest house. What's the rent? Are we moving in next month? Let's go. we'll have quite an antenna farm down there. Lee, the Debt-Free America thing, that's crazy. I did actually change my phone number, which you may or may not recall. You guys all have my actual cell phone number. I used to use Google Voice as a sort of an artificial phone number, but it got too much junk, and I'm happier this way. But it was a little painful at the time to get everyone to get the new phone number and to get them to stop using the old one. Let's see. Richard with the picture. That is kind of interesting, and I noticed that Gary mentioned that he had a good picture night too, and I don't think I've changed anything. I don't know what's changed, but maybe something has changed at the repeater. I have no idea. Let's see, Jim, let's go to the 540. 146, 540. That's the change that I also noticed at the website. Let me break here. I just don't want to time out. So the base finder is out, and to be honest, the thing, even when it was in, it was still the honor system. You had to answer all the questions, but you could answer them however you wanted, and nobody would ever check. So it was already on the honor system, and now they just have what I never even looked at before, which was always there. The second one was, I think it's called Vaccine Finder or something like that. You put in your zip code, and it tells you about locations that have it. And then where this new honor system comes in. After you find a location, then they give the whole rundown of who, what the eligibility standards are, and there's just a single box to check to say, yes, one of these apply to me, I can get the vaccine, and that's the new honor system now. But it's just not working for me yet. And thanks Bert for the information about April 15th. I knew that they were trying to move all that stuff up, and presumably they're doing it because they have doses available. So, but yeah, it's another thing to get a actual appointment available. So I'm going to work on that over the next couple of weeks for sure. And finally, James, that was perfect comic timing. Every time you were like about to say, "Oh yeah, everything is fine," and you cut out. So, with that, this is K9PQ. Back to
K9PQ. Thanks for that. Let's go on to Richard, K7ITX.
I'd call this Saturday Night Live, except it isn't Saturday night. So anyway, what a nice full house too. I'm really enjoying it tonight. So that being said, I think you guys probably know I've been really sweating out this ever-given situation in the Suez Canal, and I swear to God I was going to pop if that was going to be that much longer. But they got it loose, and now it's lessons learned, and I really got into the lessons learned, and so what I know now is that it's a Golden class vessel, mega carrier, 400 meters long. It's part of I guess there's maybe another ship like it, or another built in 2018, 2019. So what happened to the Golden Gibbon, especially with the 40-knot wind speed that it had to deal with, it was evidently bank effect that upset the steering. You got high pressure on the bow, low pressure on the stern, and then in addition to bank effect, you have the suction effect on the bottom, which would be the center of pressure or the pivot point. And so this all, and then of course, as those of you guys that fly planes know about the crab effect when you got the high winds, but with the narrow channel in the Suez Canal, they decided to forge ahead at a high speed of 13 knots, so they wouldn't have to worry about crabbing along. It's the unpredictable nature of the center of pressure and the pivot point that you have with these big giant ships, with the transom, moving up and down, kind of undulating along the canal bottom. The canal bottom is real shallow, and it needs to be dredged, evidently. So you get these unpredictable rudder movements with that, a twitch and a looping out, and there you go. So I think probably the moral of the story in those conditions is don't go 13 knots. In fact, just realize you're going to have to bite the bullet and ground against the bank, which is at a nice slow clip. In fact, you can even throw an anchor down and try to control things that way. But to forge ahead at 13 knots, you know what happens. The people that live in the little village said it was like an earthquake. I can imagine. So, but anyway, it's loose. We'll just see how much damage there was to the ship. So with that, KD7ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's try weight again. W7ITL.
after the meeting. He's not hearing enough. K9PQ.
K9PQ, okay. Let's go to Jim in 7QO.
M7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, yeah, Dick, I'm glad they got the ship out of there, too. That was a big mess. I guess that's not the first time that happened. I read that there have been several blockages over the years, one of which lasted 2 years. Man, that has got to drive you crazy. But fortunately, this wasn't that bad. Anymore with all of the commerce, something like that is a serious problem. Everyone having to go around Africa there could cause some problems. Plus, there are more pirates now than there were a couple decades ago. At least it certainly seems that way. We hear about them more on television anyway. Yeah, maybe just hear more than we used to. Anyway, Ron, yeah, good luck with the house. Good luck with whatever decisions you make. Sounds like you have plenty of room there. Maybe even enough room to build a dining room of some sort. Or possibly even an outdoor sort of dining room with a breezeway connecting to the house or something. Anyway, it sounds like you have possibilities with a bunch of room. Let's see. Oh, Lee, telemarketers, yeah. I'm inundated by people trying to sell me something I don't want, or get me to invest money which I do not have, or get me to contribute to a cause in which I do not believe. Yeah, that's enough to drive a person crazy. They wanted $10,000. Wow. Wonder if you reported that to the Attorney General's office, if they could do anything about it. Don't know what country they're in, but I don't know. Interesting that you develop sort of a friendship with them, a kinship, or whatever you want to call it. Interesting. I try real hard not to answer the phone. People just leave a message on the answering machine. I'll get to them eventually. Oh well. K7ZYM and 7QO.
M7QO, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine on page 87ZYM. Let's go to James, WW7ATS. Yeah, maybe just push the talk button needs a little more pressure, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's kind of exciting because everyone can raise their hands as soon as my audio drops. I'm going to go for a full 2 minutes here and see if it holds up to the pressure. Okay, so first of all, Lee, I think you probably know this, but a lot of the places in India now want you to engage. They will do anything at all to get you to talk, because what they're doing is they're going to edit your words, particularly they want you to say the word yes, is a real yes, we got to say yes. They edit your words, and then they do things like change your cell phone company and do things like that by using your recorded with edited words. I don't know if you're aware of that. But I would like to say this. I will stop calling anyone on the net for only $5,000. That's, half price over the going rate right now. That's a pretty good deal, so I think you guys should jump on that right away, because, in this market, who knows what the prices are going to go. The other thing, I think, Dave, if you're getting multiple offers for COVID shots, this should be like a stock or a futures contract. You should be able to hold COVID stock futures and then sell them to other people based on the probability whether you could actually get a shot with that slot or not. And it would be just like, an oil futures or oil forward contract or something like that. And I mean,
I mean, especially if we follow Bert's suggestion and say it's inoculation against 5G, everybody would be in on the action and, buy and sell in the futures contracts on COVID shots, and we'd have the whole country inoculated in a week. I can have a Google Voice contract, a Google Voice phone thing going, and I would get junk calls in Chinese all the time. I always wondered what they were saying because I don't understand any dialect of Chinese. But finally those stopped, and so now my Google Voice phone number is fairly quiet. Let's see, the guest. Okay, Ron, you sound like some kind of math problem. Ron has a 2-car garage with 4 doors. Explain how this could happen in X and Y. I think, you can really go with this and make it, more and more complicated about what kind of garage you have. Yes, which doors are open and closed. Yeah, like a little binary network problem there. Yeah, you get the idea there. Well, and also the guest house, I guess Bob jumped on it first, but I was going to say one time move in, because I'm not sure by the time I get my house repaired during the summer if my house will be livable or not. But anyway, the other thing, I had a question. I guess we're kind of out of time here, we've done the last 15 minutes, but I just realized I've adapted to a Honda Civic that's been kind of my car, and just recently I got the other one repaired. So I have huge big blind spots and no collision avoidance. And I just kind of adapted to constantly looking to see if I'm driving and turning to my death. But I'm wondering if anybody else has noticed large blind spots on smaller economy cars. Like I think, Bert, you said you have a small electric car. Do they have big blind spots or not? Because I just kind of adapted to them. When someone else drives the car, they pointed this out to me. So anyway, that's it for me this time around. This is James, WW7ATS. And I haven't cut out yet, have I? And I've been keyed down all this time. Okay, well, all right, this is really fun. All right, so let me turn it back to our net control for the Washington Amateur Television Society.
WW7M, thanks again. This is Dave, 87ZYN at Lake City. Oh man, talk about phone calls and stuff. When I'm back in the ancient days when we had dial-up, I'd get a phone call from a guru in India saying they were from Microsoft with a very Indian accent. What they wanted was my IP address, so they could fix my computer because it was causing problems on their network. And I was trying to tell the guy, well, my problem is if I've got a telephone call going and I have dial-up, I can't put my computer online as long as we're talking. And this drove the guy crazy. He just couldn't figure out why I couldn't have a telephone conversation and also have my computer online at the same time. And he called back, must have been about 6 times in one day to see if we could solve the problem, but we never did. As far as canceling out calls, on my iPhone I've got an app that cancels incoming calls if I don't want it. So I don't know if Lee's phone has that operation on it. But, they can always change different numbers calling you, so who knows. A wonderful world of telecommunications. Well, this is Dave, 87YM in Lake City, so let's go back up to the top to Ron, 87 QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. For some reason, I almost think we missed Jessica, but I'm not sure. So anyway, Jessica, on my pickup, I have a front trailer hitch. I don't know if you've ever tried that or not, but it's so nice. You can order them. I built mine. I put a front trailer hitch on the motorhome. I have a front trailer hitch on just about everything I've ever owned forever. But you can order them. I forget where you order them now. They're not really expensive. They're less than $150, and they'll bolt right on the front of your truck. And makes it so nice when you want to park your trailer someplace that's kind of hard to do it. And so I could take the post up the driveway, with the front on the front. When you steer, it's just a shorter distance than on the back of the truck. You change the direction. And I don't know if anybody's been watching the college basketball, but oh my, I watched Gonzaga the other night. It was USC. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but if you haven't, it was unbelievable. And they were saying how good LC was. And they're pretty good to get there, but I don't know. I kind of think Gonzaga's going all the way. They play, where do they play? UCLA next? I think Saturday. And those teams, it's amazing that we had there, and the Beavers were there, and West Coast had a pretty good representation. And Bob, if you're listening and you change your phone number, if it's different than what I have, I'd appreciate it if you would text me your new number. So I'd like to have your phone number, I guess. So anyway, if you think, I can't remember when I called you last. If you think you've changed your phone since I called you last, maybe if you wanted to, text me your number. So let's see. I guess that's about it for this time. But Gonzaga plays, I think, Saturday about 5 o'clock. So if you're so inclined, you should watch it. Good basketball. I usually don't watch basketball, but I was down at my brother-in-law's in home and he was watching it and he kind of got me hooked. Better than the Cactus League baseball, I'll say that for sure. So anyway, back to that KD7 KTU.
KD7 KTU, let's go to Jessica, that's 7UHK.
Yeah, 7UHK, Jessica up here in Everett. When they did some new sidewalks out here in the front of our condo, they brought in this big old tractor trailer truck thing kind of thing on the back of a truck and a trailer, and I watched him back the whole thing out of our association because you couldn't turn around anywhere. He backed the whole thing out all the way down to the street, and the next day I said, I saw you back that thing out just with precision. How do you do that? I have a little trailer. He said, is it a short one? I said, yeah. He said, well, the long one's it's actually easier because you can see the tail of it. It will be easier than you can the short one, which we can't see the tail of ours. So that was kind of interesting. No, I like that. I like that lawnmower. The thing, the hook on the front, it would make it so much more, natural to be able to see where you're going to. Let's see. On telephones now, on your caller ID, you'll see it have a V next to the phone number if it's someone that you think might be a verified phone number that you use. So, and I see these. So if you watch your caller ID, you'll have a V like in parentheses before the name, I believe. So watch for that. And then, let's see, what was that supposed to say? Some response. I have no idea what that was mean. But that's the bad thing about handwriting. Let's see, I think it's about the end of this here, so I'm going to pass it back to KU7 DYM. This is Jessica, KF7UHK.
KF7UHK, Jessica, looks good at Port Angeles to lead, M7KC. Okay, the native requirement, countdown timer, and I'm off and running there in 10KC there in Port Angeles. So I've had a lot of encounters with the Microsoft people who tell me that I've got a problem with my computer and they want to fix it. And one of my exchanges with them was I let it go on and on and on. And how could they possibly know? If I had a problem. Oh, well, you see right here, we're watching you. And so forth, and we go a little bit and fine. I said, well, would it surprise you to find out I don't have a computer? And then it's like, anyway, the other thing I was going to say that put on those job club down here, when they had monthly meetings, they would have a program. And one of the best ones that you remember they had was the president of the Puget Sound Pilots Association gave an hour-long presentation on moving big ships around Puget Sound and in particular the Blair waterways out of Tacoma. Oh my gosh, he had some wonderful, wonderful stories and videos to show. It was just fascinating. And it's really interesting, a large displacement, a deep displacement hull, even though it's moving very slow, pushes an awful lot of water aside when it comes back. And the pressure the side pressure that it puts on structures alongside a waterway like that is immense as it goes through, so they're really stuck on the speed that they can go. They have to keep it really, really slow. You know, they can just play havoc with what's along the waterway. Anyway, enough of that. This is WW7ATS. Oops, we've got time. My report over. Back to you, Dave. Thank you.
W7ITL link disconnected. W7ITL timeout. W7ITL link disconnected.
N7CS. What say you?
Okay, let's see, going through my notes, let's see, Bob, you asked about blind spots in my car. There are some, but it's kind of hard to describe, so I'll try to think of some way to do that later. Gary, you were talking about the Coast Guard. My nephew recently graduated college, and he just got accepted into the Coast Guard, so he's starting that brand new pretty soon. And let's see, oh yeah, Bob, your video was very bright today, easy to see. Usually you're very, very dim and dark for whatever reason, but today it was perfect. I thought maybe you got new lighting or something, but you said you didn't change anything. And then, talking about the Suez Canal, I read this news article the other day. It said that the United States was considering, back in the 1960s, to build an alternative canal going through Israel. And to do it, it would require 520 2-megaton nuclear bombs. They were going to blast that 160-mile stretch. They were going to use 4 nuclear bombs per mile to build the alternative canal. So I was just reading that and it's like, wow, yeah, that's, I guess, interesting. Anyway, that's it for now. So this is Bird and Maryville, 73 N7CS. Back to that.
N7CS, I guess that would be the verbiage. Glow, baby, glow. Let's go to Gary, K7HYD.
Yeah, thank you, Bert. Well, he's got 18 years, Bert, and if he didn't make sense, he was going to get forced out. So now he's good to 26, and he kind of hinted the other day when I was talking on the phone that he might be on track to make one, which would really be nice. He's a career person. He really likes the Coast Guard, and his wife and 2 kids he's getting reassigned. He's going back to Sonoma, California, to the IT training school back there, and he's going to be the Coast Guard-wide course coordinator for the IT class down there. And he's the only one there, the only one on the Coast Guard for IT. He's the chief. He's the big key, he's the honcho. So I'm really proud of him. He's done a very good job. And James, I wanted to make a mention today. I heard about it. I was listening to the signal. And I don't know, you might check your deviation. You could possibly be over deviating. That would cause it that would cause the repeater to chop you off. There may not be nothing wrong with your radio at all. They just that the repeater is the filter's input. I don't want to get level 2 on because I know we're getting close. So anyway, that's enough for me for this time. Nice to chat with everybody. 73 on this going on. Back to you, K7HYD.
K7HYD, let's go to Bob, K9P2.
Okay, well, just a few things. First of all, my phone has not changed recently. This was several years ago. So, yeah, you got my current number. All of you have my current number. The blind spots comment was from James. And congratulations to Gary on your son getting the chief. That's very cool. That's all I wrote down. I think there was more, but I can't think of any. But I did the thing about using atomic bombs to make a canal, I believe it was. I have this publication, Plowshare, from the Atomic Energy Commission. station, May 1967 is when it was printed, out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And plowshare is going for the biblical reference, turning swords into plowshares. This is a serious monograph on how to use atomic explosions for construction purposes. As you know, it never quite panned out, but I just thought it was hilarious. It's one of my favorite books that I own. And they go into a lot of detail of exactly how to do all of these things using atomic explosions, nuclear explosions. So there you go. They'll give anything a try. Back to that K9PQ.
Thanks for that K9PQ. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We've run out of time. Is there anything from anyone? Doing that, we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine, the CCAS Repeater Group, for allowing us to use the 08 machine for our voice transmissions. For our video nets held on Wednesday and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, K7CYM, signing off the 08 machine. Good evening all.